Hey, this is Bret with recordingcrave.com. In this video, I want to show you how to create a bigger guitar sound on your mixes. If you're like me, I record bands where I actually record them and mix them. Then I also have situations where people record at another studio and then send me their tracks to be mixed. And if I'm lucky, the tracks that were recorded at another studio, hopefully I'm getting some good stuff so I can build big tracks off what they recorded. But every once in a while, I'll get some tracks that are more challenging than others to get that big sound. But I'm going to show you a few tricks here how to do that with just one guitar and then also layering guitars. I recorded these tracks about 15 or 20 minutes ago. I've recorded them in a specific way that a lot of times I'll track guitars when I'm doing projects or even helping with producing projects. And for this video, we're going to play, I have a drum track going and a bass track going with these guitar tracks because we're going to listen to it in the context of a song per se. So let's listen to what I've recorded here first and foremost, just as one guitar panned hard left. And basically what I'm using is a Pod XT with a Marshall amp setting going, playing a Gibson Les Paul classic guitar. Overall, the sound is pretty good. You know, if I got that track, I'd be happy with it. But a lot of times they'll want, the band will want, to get that guitar sound bigger. And sometimes the first thing you want to do is just layer and layer tracks of the same sound. And after a while, it starts to sound like mush. Okay. And then some bands you get where they don't want a whole bunch of instrumentation. They want to keep the mix in a minimalistic mix. They don't want their guitars duplicated. They want just the part they played, and that's it. And I've run into that a few times. One quick fix for me when that happens is taking the guitar and panning it left or right. And you can pan it hard left or hard right, or even 9 or 10 o'clock. And then add a verb or delay on the other side, pan to the right. Let me show you how that works here. We'll isolate the guitar. I'm going to play it dry, and then I'm going to add the verb as it's playing. Now I'm going to unsolo it so it's playing with the band. Mute the verb. You can hear right away that it makes the guitar just fill out the space. And a lot of it's the verb. And on that one, I'm using D-verb, which I believe comes with Pro Tools. And I'm just using, I think, just a stock setting. It's called long plate. I don't think I edited it at all. So but that's what I was using for that. And it works great. And it just makes it sound like the guitar is in this arena or this smaller arena, and it just sounds great. Now, one other trick is, let me mute the verb there. One other trick is the what I call it the AC/DC trick, where the guitar will play for a few bars by itself, and then another guitar will kick in with the same type of rhythm. And that is what we'll do here, which is pretty common. A lot of us do that. This is using the same patch. All these examples are using the same patch, and then I'll let you know if I'm using less gain or not. But this is the same gain, same guitar, everything. Okay, here comes the other guitar. Now you hear right away, it got bigger. I mean, it's a rock song. You add that other stereo guitar in there. I mean, it's a mono guitar, but it's just panned hard right. And then when you get the two, it sounds like a stereo guitar. I often will have the guitar player track another track rather than duplicate the track and then nudge it in one direction or the other to give it the the illusion that you recorded 2 tracks. Because I love having the guitar player play another track, because you still get that human feel. You're not playing exactly the same, but it's darn close, and it just sounds good. When you duplicate it and nudge it, to me, I can hear that every time, and it's not as nice as just recording another track to give it that human feel. Okay, another example here we're going to show you is adding a cleaner sounding guitar underneath the already overdriven guitar. I'm using the same guitar patch, but this time I've switched to a Stratocaster guitar, and I've turned the gain down on the Pod XT. Same EQ, same everything, just a different guitar and less gain. Now this guitar has less output on it too, whereas the Gibson has a lot more output. So here's that example. And this guitar plays right away from the beginning with the, actually what I'll do is I'll mute it until the second bar comes in. Now let's isolate that and hear the difference. So it's pretty clean, a little bit gritty. Here's the original track. What I like about that, it takes it sounds like it still has the same amount of distortion when they're both together, but it sounds like the track breathes. It sounds more open. Rather than having 2 similarly distorted guitars on there where it starts to sound compressed and mushed together. When you run a cleaner guitar under an overdriven guitar, it just fills the sound out. Now, another example here, I've actually added another cleaner guitar using the Gibson. Same patch, same everything, but with less gain yet. So here's what that sounds like isolated. Very clean. Okay, that's the Gibson. Now we're going to put it in the track with the whole band. Now the trick there with that is to get it to where you can hear the other guitars, but they're not like standing out. You know, the middle strat, what I call the middle strat with the grit on the gain structure there. That one you want a little bit louder, but the Gibson one, you could hear it right when I was turning it up. You could start to hear the cleanness, and it was starting to sound like the Sparkle Drive from Voodoo Labs, the little distortion pedal there, the overdrive pedal. The trick there is just to get your volume on your levels set right, but it just lets the track breathe so much, and it sounds so good. Now let's go to this third example that I have, or fourth, I forget now. And this one is actually using the original track and then adding another separate guitar part completely different. And I'm going to turn the verbs on here since we're only going to use one guitar and then one guitar playing another part. So here's that. And in each time the guitar playing another part builds each phrasing. So let's take a listen. That's just one guitar on the left. Built once there. It's going to build again here. I think you get the idea there. Basically, we're just adding another track there to add some different textures into the sound and building that guitar sound a little bit bigger. And we're kind of moving into more of a producer's role at that point when you start doing that. And a lot of times the bands will ask you for that advice, and sometimes they don't want your advice. So you just got to kind of go with the flow there. Hey, this is Fergie saying thank you so much for watching these videos. Hopefully they're helpful for you. And I love the guitar one. I'm a guitar player myself, so I'm always looking for ways to get a bigger sound or making a sound work in a song. Sometimes it's a challenge, but I love it. I love recording. I love mixing. I really love mixing. And I love music most of all. And I love hearing good music. And I love listening to other mix engineers. And hopefully you love it too. And hopefully you'll comment below, good, bad, or ugly. But thanks for watching, and we'll see you in another video.